and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn. I had hoped by now to be back making semi-regular videos, but it hasn't happened. Real life has somewhat ganged up on me and put a stop to it. So I got some time today and I got a little project that I want to do. I'll explain why in a minute. And I thought I'd bring you along for it. Now, this project has come about because of a challenge. And the challenge was to make toys. Toys. That was the simple thing. Ideally to be 1/12 scale, but I think any mini scale would have been acceptable. And I wasn't going to do it. And then I got to thinking about something that I made a few years ago. Now, you may or may not be aware of squishmallows. Squishmallows are a big deal when it comes to toys, and there's loads of them. And quite a while ago now, I made a miniature squishmallow, and this is a bat. I actually own the real full-size version of this one, and I'm not even sure why I made this one, because I could. Perhaps that might be the answer, but I did, and it's sat waiting for a home ever since. But I got to wondering if I could make any more, and the challenge has sort of inspired me. So I've pulled out this chap here. Now this is Stanley. He is a squishmallow panda and he is very well loved. He is actually supposed to be more sort of cream and grey than black and white, but I'm going to be working in black and white today. But I pulled him, well, I borrowed him, pulled him into the craft room to use him as my inspiration. And I'm actually going to make him so he's more the size of that one, smaller. He's actually a smaller squishmallow than the one that comes from. That one doesn't fit on camera. I know, I've tried. So I'm going to use some felt for this, and I've just got some black and white felt in, well, any kind of felt. This is quite cheap felt. It's not the best. It's a bit stiff. It's actually somewhat stiffer than the stuff I used for this chap here, but it will do. And the first thing I did was make a rough pattern. Now, you really need 3 pieces to make one of these: a front, a back, and a base. So I'm going to put Stanley out of the way, and I'll just show you my pattern. My pattern is simply made out of a scrap of paper. This is just the edge of something that I printed, that I cut in, I folded over and then I cut out roughly. And then I made a base. Again, folded it over and cut it that way. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be. And then I've cut out pieces of felt, a front and a back, and 2 black strips to give it some decoration, a base, and then I've got some circles that I've done with one of my little oil punches to make the ears and the eyes. I've actually got another 2 over there. So you could do this with glue if you've got some glue that you know sticks felt. I tend to find that felt doesn't stick very easily, even with these kids' craft kits that are supposed to. Yeah, been there, done that. So I'm actually just going to use a needle and thread. And what I will do is I will put together the details on the front and back before I stitch it up, because that is easier. And I've got to look at that little dude and try and figure out how I actually stitched him. And then we're going to put this together. I'm also going to show you a couple of other things that I've been up to, another different challenge, and yeah, a couple of little bits. But to be fair, because of everything else that's been going on, I haven't really crafted for well over a week, and I'm kind of itching to do something, hence this. The two main parts of my little panda are done. Obviously the front has got far more details. It's got a face, albeit a little bit kooky, and the back, to which I've also added a little tail. That, as well as the nose, is just a little triangular offcut of felt that I've just stitched into place. Now my next step is going to be to stitch these two pieces together. Now I'm going to do I'm just going to go over the edges of this, stitch round and go over the edges, and then I've got to stitch in the base piece. Now I think this is how I did it last time. I think I stitched this and then I stitched that in, and then once I've got part of the base piece part way in, I will stuff it with a little bit of cotton wool, a little cotton swab pulled apart. Should be ample stuffing. I don't want too much stuffing, so I'm going to go off and do that, because miniature sewing is even more boring than miniature painting to watch on camera. And we will come back once I'm a bit further along. And here we have my little squishmallow-esque panda. Now he's not as soft and squishy as my bat is, because the felt is a bit on the hard side. If I could have found the better felt, I think I would have had a better result, because this one is far nicer. Now I've actually made him a little bit smaller than that one, which tallies because, as I said, the real panda is smaller than the bat. Now if I compare him to his, so you can see that he's absolutely tiny, but I think he's kind of cute, and he would look nice in a miniature scene. And yeah, so now I've got not quite a miniature Stanley, because as I say, he's cream and grey, but they do some black and white ones. Just this is the one that we've got, and it had to be a panda. Now you could do any squishmallow in a similar way. They don't use a lot of felt, so it's a great way of using up scraps. You could use any fabric, but I use the felt because you don't need to worry about it giving way. He's got his little tail at the back, and yeah, I quite like him. So we've made a little squishmallow. It's just a little bit of something silly, and I'm going to show you the other things that I've been making. So this is for one challenge in a group that I'm in online, a toys challenge, and another challenge was to use straws. Now in the UK, as in a lot of other countries, plastic disposable straws have been off the cards for quite a while. You can't buy them. If you go out, you get paper straws, but you can buy reusable straws, and that's what I bought. I actually bought some reusable bamboo straws that I saw in a pound shop, and I thought, those look like they could be useful. And they were. You see, I had this idea that they're bamboo, so I could make one of those little water featurey things that use lengths of bamboo. And whilst my water is not very good, I quite like the general effect. Now what this is this is a plastic lid, I can show you that I've painted up in a kind of stone effect. I actually started off by putting a coat of glue onto the plastic. It makes the paint stick better. You can use Mod Podge. I just used some of my ordinary glue, just sort of smeared on with my finger, to be fair, and then a coat of black paint and a bit of grey paint just around the edges. I didn't bother doing the paint all in the middle. Well, I painted it black, as you can probably see underneath, and then I positioned my pieces of straw, my bamboo, and I put real grit, small gravel, around the bottom, and that's all been glued in. Again, I've just used my ordinary glue. I find that it sticks well enough for most of these kind of things. And then I cut some very thin pieces of it was the top of a thick plastic bag, to be fair, and I stuck them into place so it looks like I've got running water down there and then at the two sides. And I went over that with a little UV resin, and my water's not running particularly straight, but I don't mind because it looks fairly effective. And a few people have commented on the picture and said, that's not water. It's like, no, it's not water. I think it does help that I've got at least one little bubble in amongst my resin. You don't always want a new resin, but it does sort of make it look a bit more watery. Then I put some more faux water where it was landing, so that it actually looked a bit more realistic. So that's another challenge that I was inspired to enter. The only thing I will say is cutting through the bamboo straw, as you can see from the top of there, is quite thick. That actually took quite some effort, and I had to use my little multi-tool, like a Dremel, to do that, and a cutting disc. But it worked out okay in the end, and I am considering figuring out some way of attaching maybe a mini set of wind chimes onto there, but that's for another day. The other thing I've been working on is my table and my Valentine setting, and as you can see, we're going red again. Well, red and pink, they're the Valentine's colours. Now, I haven't finished this. I want to actually make this a bit fringy, and then it will sit on there like that. And this is going to be a photo frame. I'm going to paint it. It's actually 3 punched hearts with another heart punched out of that one. Actually, if you want to do that, if you ever want to make a frame, punch the inner one first and then line up the outer one around it. It's far easier. Now, they're going to get a paint finish, which I haven't got to yet, and I'll show you what paint finish I'm going for them in a minute, and I'm going to put a photo in there, and then that's going to go on there. I've also got my little piece. This is some acrylic arts that I found, and I thought they look kind of like those, if not balloons, those sort of faux balloons that you sometimes get for Valentine's decor. And you can probably see from that one that they've actually been glued on the back onto these bits of metal and then stuck into a bead to make it look like a vase. That one's actually turned round. It should have been the other way around, but it will do, and it stands up. It stands up enough that I can glue it into place, let's put it that way. And then the other thing I've made so far is a tiered tray, and it had to be heart-shaped, didn't it? It's not perfect. I don't pretend that a lot of my pieces are perfect, but this has been done the same way that I do a lot of trays, with a shape and then a piece put around the outside, and I think it works pretty well. This has been painted with a very light grey, and then it's been gone over with a silver, and it gives it that sort of yeah, that kind of aged metal look. It's supposed to look like it's zinc or something, but it isn't. It's just distressed metal, and I think it works pretty well with the red and the pink, so it's going to do quite nicely for Valentine's Day. And I've got obviously more than there to be getting on with. I've done a little bit more for my my tiny diorama. I've painted not very well, it needs some more work. I've started painting anyway, a little forklift truck. All the things that I'm putting onto this have got meaning. I'm just not going to go into it all. And I really need to get on with that particular piece because I actually wanted it as a present. And it's not quite there yet. And the time when I need it for is getting very close. But that's kind of where I'm at with my progress. And yeah, I'm still making. I'm still considering what else I need to do. I have got lots and lots and lots of things going through my head, as I think I said in the last video. Lots of ideas, lots of possibilities. There's a fair few things that I want to do for the Valentine's table that are a bit repetitive. I'm going to do some things with some blister packaging and stuff like that. So you'll probably only see the completed table on a short. I would probably do a little short just showing that off. And the rib tree that I did for Christmas, this spooky alternative to a Christmas tree, I've actually done a Valentine's version of that as well. So I think that's already in the doll's house. So I'm just going to stop you a moment and I can show you that as well. Now this piece has already featured on my Facebook page, and as you can see, I did it similar way to before. And then I used some stickers. These are obviously little puffy heart stickers and a flower sticker that I've glued on as decor for my little tree. Now the bowl this time I've done in a silver because I'm loving silver at the moment, and that's actually the bottom of a plastic Easter egg. The other half's there. That's what it started off as. Well, the flatter bottom half. I cut them apart and then I painted it up. I did put some air dry clay in the bottom of it to help weight it down, and I've stuck a little bit of cardstock to the bottom. It's actually a bit of cereal packaging, I'll be honest. A couple of pieces of cereal packaging stuck together just to give it a nice level base, because otherwise it was a bit wobbly. But yeah, still doing some spooky Halloween, some spooky Valentine's. Halloween, somebody calls it. I'm not so sure about that. But I'm kind of enjoying just messing about at the moment. I don't know. Do I do something for Easter? I did an Easter table last year. I think I'm going to do a birthday table because my birthday comes about the same time. So I might do that. But I'm not sure about doing some more spooky Easter stuff for the doll's house. I may instead actually get on with furnishing it, working on it. To have the time would be a wonderful thing. I hope you've enjoyed this video and my little panda dude, and a little bit of a glimpse into what I've been doing just of late. Hopefully things are going to start settling down. and I'll be able to get back to making videos. Fingers crossed. It's been a bit of a difficult time for all of us for a variety of reasons. A lot of changes in real life, but that's life. Some of them, well, most of them we've been expecting, but expecting something and how it actually works out is another matter. But if you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. I know it isn't always the best thing, but it's about the only way I can suggest of ensuring that you find out when I make a video, because at the moment they're not regular. But until next time, bye!